I need to come clean about something. For the past few months, I was convinced my wife had developed a secret and, frankly, very strange habit. I thought she was eating multiple sticks of butter every single day. I know, it sounds completely absurd. But hear me out. It all started so innocently. I'd go to the fridge to grab a stick of butter for my morning toast, and it would be gone. I'd just bought a 4-pack yesterday. I'd ask my wife, "Honey, did you use the butter?" And she'd just shrug and say, "Maybe for cooking last night." But it kept happening. Stick after stick, vanishing into thin air. I started to get suspicious. Was she making massive batches of cookies and not telling me? Was she secretly supplying the entire neighborhood with baked goods? I started doing some light detective work. I checked the trash for empty flour bags or sugar packets. Nothing. I checked her browser history for world's most butter-intensive recipes. Still nothing. The mystery deepened, and my imagination started to run wild. I even started hiding the butter in different parts of the fridge, behind the pickles, inside the vegetable crisper. But like a dairy-loving ghost, she would always find it. The sticks would just disappear. The situation was getting out of hand. I'd buy butter in bulk from the warehouse store, these giant packages of it, thinking, there's no way she can get through all of this before I notice. But I'd be wrong. A week later, the entire supply would be decimated. I started calculating. We were going through, on average, 2 to 3 sticks of butter a day. That's over a pound of butter every 2 days. I was genuinely starting to worry about her health. I mean, who eats that much butter? I envisioned her, late at night, just unwrapping a stick and eating it like a candy bar. The thought was both horrifying and, I have to admit, a little bit fascinating. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I had to confront her. One evening, I sat her down. I had my evidence laid out in my mind: the empty butter wrappers, the rapid depletion of our dairy supply, the lack of any other explanation. I took a deep breath and said, "Honey, we need to talk about the butter." She just looked at me, completely confused. "The butter? What about it?" "Do we need more?" I said. "No, that's the problem. We have a butter crisis. I think you're eating it." The look on her face was a mixture of bewilderment and amusement. She just stared at me for a second, and then she burst out laughing. Not just a little chuckle, but a full, deep, can't-breathe kind of laugh. I was so confused. "It's not funny," I insisted. "I'm worried about you." She finally caught her breath, wiped a tear from her eye, and said, "Oh, you sweet, clueless man, come with me." She led me out of the house and around to the side of our backyard, to a spot near the old oak tree that I rarely ever go to, and that's when I saw it. Piled up under a bush was a mountain of empty butter wrappers, but that wasn't the shocking part. Next to the wrappers were dozens and dozens of little dishes and pieces of bark, and sitting on top of them, happily munching away, were squirrels, chipmunks, blue jays, and even a couple of chunky raccoons. She looked at me, still smiling, and said, "They love it, especially in the cold weather. It gives them the extra fat and energy they need to stay warm." It turns out my wife, my wonderful, kind-hearted wife, wasn't secretly consuming a pound of butter a day. She was running a high-end, all-you-can-eat buffet for the local wildlife. She'd been cutting up the sticks of butter and putting them out every morning and evening for her little furry and feathered friends. She'd been doing it for months, ever since she read online that it helps them get through the winter. She just never thought to mention it because, to her, it was just a small, simple act of kindness. I stood there, surrounded by happy, well-fed critters, feeling like the biggest idiot in the world. All my detective work, all my crazy theories, all my concern. And the answer was just pure, unadulterated kindness. I had been so wrapped up in my own weird narrative that I couldn't see the simple, beautiful truth right in front of me. We both had a good laugh about it, and I have to say, I've never been more in love with my wife than I was in that moment. So, the mystery was solved. My wife is not a secret butter fiend. She's just Dr. Dolittle in disguise. And now, I'm her official accomplice. Buying butter has become a team sport. I no longer hide it in the vegetable crisper. Instead, I help her chop it up, and we watch together from the window as our little woodland neighbors come for their daily treat. It's become one of my favorite parts of the day. It just goes to show, sometimes the craziest explanation you can think of is nowhere near as interesting or as sweet as the simple truth. Thanks so much for listening to my crazy story. I hope it brought a smile to your face. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories. We'd love to have you as part of our community. See you in the next one.